Hey guys, I'm Rebecca for Rex Creations and welcome to another theory. And this theory is, well, quite an original theory of mine. I'm quite proud of this theory as I've successfully managed to answer it, pretty much. So my theory is that Pocahontas is a great grandmother of Pocahontas. Now you may be like, how does this work? How does it work? Don't understand. Well, I shall explain for you how Pocahontas is the great ancestor of Moana. Okay guys, so let's start Pocahontas first. So as you can see, Pocahontas is a very high-spirited sort of princess, much like Moana, who explores, goes on adventures, she has a canoe thing, and she does things against her father, really, because her father's like, don't talk to them humans to look dangerous, yet she still ignores him. Much like Moana, when her father constantly tells her off by trying to sail out into past the reef. But as you can tell from this, Moana ignores him and still goes out to save her island. And eventually her dad understands why and basically phrases her. But so yeah, this is my first point. They are like exactly the same person. Okay, so we've got that part cracked down. So they are similar princesses, and your guys' face right now are probably like that. What? Although some of you guys are like, yeah, they are similar princesses. But now you guys will have this face because I am going to tell you guys the family tree of Moana and Pocahontas and how they connect and intertwine together, and then any extra questions that would make this first part of the theory wrong, I will answer and just make the theory completely awesome. So let's start at the top of the tree. So, as we know, Pocahontas is pretty much a single princess, but she does have a relationship between John Smith, but then the sequel with John Rolfe. Now, my theory is, I don't think she stayed with either of them. I think, like this picture is shown here, well, not quite, but I think eventually, when Pocahontas' father dies, some of her Indian friends come to Britain or England and tell her that they have no leader because her father's passed away while she's been exploring England. And then I think Pocahontas would have to apologise to John Rolfe and then return back home. I mean, personally, I think Pocahontas and John Smith are a better couple anyway, but still. Because the reason I think Pocahontas would return home instead of staying in England where she is happy currently, it's because Pocahontas is very loyal to her family and her island and people that live there. Like, she was given the option to go to England in the first movie, but she refused as she cares for her people and her island and her father and everyone. So I think she would definitely return back as the chief and become the first female chief of the island. Yeah, this is when it starts playing with Moana. So then I think after that, because Pocahontas has already explored England, she's like, and then Pocahontas is like, hey guys, we've been on this island for years, and we're getting hunted down by like people from England and stuff, and if they want the gold, you know what, they can have it, because we're going to find a new better island. And I think the Macy people are going to be like, what? How can we find your island? So Moana's like, well, we'll use not Moana, Pocahontas will say, well guys, we can use wayfinding. Which is I've just invented. Well, actually, I didn't just invent, because both of the Johns, guys, get this. I'm thinking more John Smith though. John Smith, you know, he has a compass. I think he was saying, like, I think what we would do is he would go, here's a compass, Pocahontas, and if you wanted to find your way across, like, say, the sea to explore, then use a compass, but without a compass. So wayfinding is like having a compass by stars being the north and the south and stuff, and you're guiding along. So Pocahontas is like, yes, you're totally right, I should try it out. And then she tells everyone about wayfinding, and everyone goes along with her. Then eventually they find this island called Motunui. And they're like, okay, this looks like a great place to start off our exploration of islands across the sea. So they stay on this island, but all the time they voyage across the sea to other islands and all sorts. Now, let's pause for 1 minute, because you guys may be like, hey, but in the flashbacks of Moana's ancestors, Pocahontas is clearly not shown, and plus the ancestors shown in Where You Are, they are like Moana's father's father and mother and stuff. It's that generation. So I'm going to answer this question now, guys, because I found out a way how this would work. Because I reckon this clip is shown from like just them returning back from one of their travels, not necessarily the first travel, because or else why would the pedestal, not the pedestal, like the rocks be so high? There's like 15 if you look here. Okay, I've counted and there's 14 in total, including Moana's one, which is just the shell. Now, I believe this area here at the bottom, I believe that bottom one, or right at the bottom, is Pocahontas when she first arrived at the island with her tribe. And all the rest are the ones from her children and their children and everyone else's children, all the way up to this dude. And this dude is Chief Tui's dad, I believe. If you look in this pendant around his neck, it's the same that Grandma Tyler wears that she gives to Moana, that obviously her son Chief Tui never wanted. And obviously Chief Tui and Cena obviously have Moana. So I've come to the conclusion that Pocahontas must be Moana's 14th ancestor from the island, which would make total sense, as after they've done the voyaging bit, they stopped them. So after Pocahontas' period of like voyaging across the ocean, of course then the whole scenario with Te-Fiti came, and then nobody wanted to leave the island. They obviously forgot all the wildness and ambitiousness that Pocahontas had, obviously, but you know, but I'm guessing Chief Tui is the one that will when it all stops, I believe, or it could have happened before, I don't know, but that it just makes so much sense. So Pocahontas invented the voyaging because of the help of John Smith, and then they moved to Motunui. All these generations of people have come, and then there's Moana. And there are obviously so many similarities with Pocahontas and Moana, which is why I think it's so likeable, this is. As well, now there is some other questions though to consider in this, as the clothing is pretty different, as well as the like the relationship with gods and stuff has changed, as Pocahontas didn't really have much connection with gods. However, they did. Let me explain how now. And here it is. So I'm not sure what this lady is called, but like the great elder of the village, I guess you can call her. She has some sort of connection with the spirit world where she can make them show them the future and stuff. And I believe these spirits aren't just spirits, they are gods that listen to people and help to show them what they are. Maybe it's like a spirit god, a ghost god, I don't know. But I feel like there's some sort of connection there. But there's all sorts of magic as well as is shown here. I mean, this was the most prominent and obvious one connected to a god. But there are also two other things that suggest that Pocahontas and her tribe have always had some connections to gods and stuff, like Moana's do. So one of them other ones is the wind. So I believe they must have a god a bit like Te-Fiti, of one that can control like wind, life in general, really. I'm not sure whether this would be a wind god or Tefiti, but somehow there's this god in presence of Pocahontas sends her like leaves to guide her. So the thing I need to do now is work out who that god could be, and there is actually a way of working it out, guys. So you'll see in one sec what I am talking about as we go on to the next little picture now. Here we go. So yeah, it is Grandmother Willow, the tree. I believe she is the god of life in Moana's world, and she's always the one to tell Moana about her dreams. She's the one that's the tree that like has leaves, so it would make total sense that she is a god like Tefiti. Maybe she's Tefiti's grandmother even, guys. I mean, I'm sure gods can have ancestors as well, and that would just make so much sense, guys. So much sense. So that has solved that problem. And as far as clothing goes, I believe clothing has evolved over time. And if you have a look at Moana's outfit, it has quite a few bits of inspiration from Pocahontas's. Not much, but for the like not big puffy sleeves or anything, it's like an exploring out and about sort of dress thing, much like Pocahontas's. And yeah, like I said, they'll probably just evolved over time from what they look like Pocahontas's at that time. They're probably like, actually this material is more easier to work with, and we can just make one more outfits with this material. So yeah, guys, that is all that part explained for you. That makes total sense though, I believe. Now the last piece of this puzzle which I'm going to answer to you guys, well, it's not really a question, but it's more of an answer which I'm going to give to you guys. I found another similarity. So the last similarity I found as well between Moana and Pocahontas, two actually. Both of them have animal psychics, but both their psychics are both non-speaking ones compared to some Disney psychics where they talk. Also, both Moana and Pocahontas both wear a special necklace around their neck to which represents someone in their family that have either died before them or given it to them as a gift. So Moana's is a gift from her Grandma Tala, and Pocahontas's is her mother's necklace for when she died. Both Moana's grandmother and Pocahontas' mother both died, and both of them left behind their necklaces. So that just is another symbol that these two are so connected, and that Pocahontas so could be Moana's great grandmother. Oh my goodness, time is like 5 greats. Oh my gosh, guys, it just makes so much sense, guys. Like literally, if you just put it in order, like the clothing's like the same, they both have relationships between gods and spirits and stuff. Like Pocahontas' spirit friend is like a tree and the wind, I guess, as well. The Moana's is the ocean, Tefiti, Maui. Oh my gosh, there's so much similarities and magic between these two worlds, which makes these two princesses so close, and so much close that, like I said, I think Pocahontas is Moana's 15th ancestor. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. That was a long theory, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this theory could totally be true? That Moana and Pocahontas are both connected, like they're both part of the same family? I think it so could be true after all these events I've tried to put together to make it sound true. But yeah, fingers crossed this theory has given you guys enough juiciness like on these two worlds. Like, I don't know what race Moana and Pocahontas are, but it's not stated. However, I do feel like Pocahontas is Indian. I don't think Moana is, but like I said, I don't know. It's just a theory, guys. But I think it could totally be true, and yeah, like I said, people can evolve from 15th ancestor to now, so this is why it just makes so much sense. Spirits, gods, so much connections between these worlds, guys. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember to comment below what you think of this theory. And yeah, see you real soon. Bye!